As the day wore on, Sid made a dozen phone calls. Finally, he gave me some good news. In order to reclaim ownership of Baywatch, which would allow me to make new episodes, I wouldn't have to pay off the deficit from the old ones. That saved me a deal killing $8 million. All Gannon wanted was that I promised to pay them $5,000 per episode for any future episodes that might be produced. But the Gannon executives empathetically made one point clear. They were not going to spend any more money on Baywatch. And during the negotiations, a few Gannon executives made it clear that they thought I was wasting everyone's time and money by trying to refloat Baywatch. Their predictions of my demise made me look forward with great anticipation to the day when I could write the first check for $5,000 to Gannett, then the 10th check, then the 50th check, then the 100th check, each check a way of saying, I guess you guys were dead wrong. On Sid's advice, I spent a great deal of time calculating how much each new episode of Baywatch would cost. At NBC, the price of each Baywatch episode was ultimately $1.3 million. I carefully plotted how much the new shows would cost, minus what I considered the massive overhead, huge writing staff, tremendous salaries above and below the line. So my best estimate was $800,000 times 22 episodes, which made it out to be $18 million. I mean, we made good headway toward finding distribution and money, thanks to one man, Paul Talbot, the president of Fremantle Corporation. Fremantle, based in New York, distributes American television shows throughout the rest of the world. During the NBC season, Fremantle had sold Baywatch to several countries, most of them in continental Europe. Over the next week, Paul Talbot offered to pay us a tremendous sum of money, $400,000 an episode for the international rights to the new Baywatch. Until then, no show had ever received $400,000 an episode for international rights. So why this huge increase for the previous year? The reason is simple. Baywatch had caught fire in Europe thanks to David Hasselhoff, who is now a huge star in Germany. In fact, contingent on Talbot paying us $400,000 an episode was the agreement that Hasselhoff appear in 17 out of 22 episodes. Paul Talbot licensed Baywatch to various distribution companies all over the world. Two of the most important distributors were Beta Taurus and ITV. Talbot, knowing the importance of these two companies in terms of Baywatch's success, had me deal directly with them. Paul Talbot wanted more episodes of Baywatch, the sooner the better. In passing, Talbot said, if I'm going to give you all this money, I want merchandising and licensing for continental Europe. And I knew my television history. I knew that only a few shows had ever made money in merchandising and licensing. Now, years later, I can only marvel at Paul Talbot's abilities, because Baywatch went on to make an astonishing amount of money in merchandising and licensing, both domestically and internationally. The Baywatch Barbie doll sold by the truckload. Baywatch would eventually have over 200 licensees. Each licensee created and sold hundreds of products from air fresheners to cut glass and crystal. Immediately I called David Hasselhoff. We needed him. Badly. Without Hasselhoff, no new Baywatch. Over lunch, David Hasselhoff and I, along with his manager, Jan McCormick, set up the deal. David was interested in becoming more than a lead actor on the weekly series.